Guys, I'm here. What do I do?
Sorry, I was just I was moving some people in Discord. Just sit in this box, and I'll show you some cool stuff real quick. All right, let's get started. My name is Adron. I'm actually a member of a gaming community called Fist of the Empire. If you've never heard it, please feel free to check us out. I'm also a YouTuber. I used to do BDO, Black Desert Online. I'm starting to do this game now after I was kind of overseas for a little bit. So if you want to check me out on YouTube, I'm streaming right now. Just search for FoE Adron or Adron FoE, and you'll find me. So let's get started. If you guys go ahead and pull out your pistol by hitting number 2, go ahead and reload it by pressing R. Okay, so your 1, 2, and 3 buttons are what's going to control your weapons in this game. So while we all got our pistol out, try not to shoot anybody. And here we go. So this game is about team play. To give you a perspective on this game, some of these maps that we play, they can run anywhere between 3, 6, 10, 12, 20, 70, or 100 hours. That means no team wins for up to 100 hours. So think about it. Let that sink in for a second. So you're talking days and days and days of gameplay. You're going to come on, you're going to play, you're going to log off, you're going to come on the next day. It's going to be the same game. It's going to be the same map. It's going to be the same game. The same defenses, the front line hasn't moved, and you'd be like, what, we made no progress in 24 hours? It happens. So keep that in mind. This isn't Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or Battlefield, where it's an hour game and one guy with a 1 to 30 KD ratio, or 30 to 1 KD ratio actually makes a difference. Your KD ratio in this game doesn't matter. Trust me, it just doesn't matter, because at the end of a 70-hour or even a 24-hour map or a 24-hour game, you're talking about 800 people will have logged onto this server and played this map, and there will have been 2 to 8,000 deaths on either side, depending on how active the combat was. So think about that. If you play for 2 or 3 hours and you have a KD ratio of 30 to 1, you may have died, one time and killed like 100 or 200 people or something like that, or maybe, a couple times killed 100, 200 people. You're talking 8,000 deaths. You literally contributed to less than 2% of the enemy deaths. So that's not a lot. Like, you can be the greatest shooter in the world, but your solo play and your solo killing people literally just accomplished what's a drop in the bucket compared to everything else that's going to go on in this map for the next couple hours. So let that sink in while you play. Now, I had you all pull out your pistols by hitting number 2 and pressing R. You reloaded them. So we're going to go into shooting. So remember how I said this isn't Counter-Strike, it's not Call of Duty, it's not Battlefield. So if you hold down the right mouse button, you're actually going to aim. And you see the reticle crosshairs on the dot. Now, if you look around while you're doing that and move a little bit, you're going to see those lines get further away from the dot and then settle back closer to the dot. This is why strafing is a bad idea in this game, because in Call of Duty, there's not much of an accuracy bonus, or even Counter-Strike. There's no real accuracy bonus or deficit when you're moving. You shoot, where you aim. In this game, there is. Your bullets aren't always going to go exactly where you aim. They're going to shift a little bit, and they're going to go to the side. So that said, trying to shoot somebody by strafing like I am right now, going back and forth like this, is just a terrible idea. You're going to miss them more than you're going to hit them. And a good player like me, I'm going to be able to time your strafe, and I'm going to know exactly when to hit you, and I'm just going to shoot you. So keep that in mind. Don't run around doing that. Now, so we talked about aiming, right? So let's talk about how do we improve our aim. So everyone go ahead and press the C button while you're holding down the right mouse button. You're crouching. You notice how those lines got closer together? Okay, so you have about a 5 to 15% accuracy bonus and about a 5% chance to dodge anything that should have hit you while you're crouching. Now here's something that's going to blow your mind. Go ahead and hit X. This is called the prone position. Okay? So while you're holding the right mouse button, hit X, you're going to go into the prone position, and see how close that stuff is to the crosshairs right now? You have a 70% accuracy increase when you're in the prone position, and you have an additional 25%, 27%, I think it is the actual number, chance to dodge anything that should have hit you, bullets-wise. Grenades and stuff you're not going to dodge those. But think about that for a second. So I'm strafing, if I'm facing a bad enemy, okay, he might miss me because he's trying to shoot like right at me the whole time. But if I'm facing a good enemy, he's going to kill me every time regardless of my strafing, and I'm never going to be able to hit him. If I'm laying down like this, I get a free 25% chance to dodge anything, and I'm 70% more accurate. So every time you're engaging the enemy, if you're not trying to move to an objective or trying to move to a place, you should be in this position shooting at them. Okay? So whenever you make contact with the enemy, the first thing you do is you turn, you face the enemy, and then you hit X. You get down to this position and you start returning fire. You're going to hit them way more often. Okay, guys? Ladies and gentlemen? The next thing I want to talk about is cover and concealment. This is actually a really good map to do this on because we have some cool things. We have these bushes here. So these bushes don't provide anything other than what's called concealment. If you get down in them, you kind of become a little bit concealed. And in even taller bushes, you become invisible to anybody that's not around you, even your own team. So it actually provides a little bit of concealment. But bullets will go straight through these, and they will hit you if they start shooting at them. Same thing for trees. You can kind of hide inside these trees a little bit. Larger bushes, you'll completely go invisible to everyone on your team. And if you guys walk around this tree, if you guys go ahead and walk around this big tree right here or any of these trees, you'll notice the other people that you can see here, even your friendly guys, they start to disappear. Okay? There is line of sight in this game. If your character can't see the person, you can't see the person. All right, so keep that in mind when you're dealing with the enemy. If you're wounded or something, get behind an object that's tall enough to hide you, and call your medic to you and get them to come help you. And so this tree actually not only counts as concealment, but the tree stump actually counts as cover too. They can't shoot through the tree stump. Same thing with these sandbags right here. If you're crouched behind a sandbag, it is partial cover and slight concealment when you're in the prone. They can't see you if you're in the prone. So if you stand on either side of the sandbag and someone goes prone and you're crouched, they might disappear entirely. And that's because some of you guys go prone inside those sandbags, and you guys stand up and crouch, and some guys are going to go invisible, and they're gonna reappear. And so that's kind of a way you can hide behind a sandbag, pop up, take a couple shots, and then drop down again. So we've covered shooting, we've covered cover and concealment, but what do we do in combat? All right, so obviously you're trying to shoot and kill the enemy, right? But there's some things you got to keep in mind. This is a game about supplies, logistics, team coordination. That means just shooting blindly at the enemy doesn't accomplish anything because you're shooting blindly, you're probably not hitting them, and you're losing your ammunition. You have a limited amount of ammunition that you can carry with you, and every time you die and you respawn, not only do you use shirts they're like tickets in Battlefield, but you're pulling out more ammunition and more rifles. And so if you keep pulling that stuff out and you're just going out there and dying, you're going to lose stuff. So let's think about ammo conservation. Don't blindly shoot unless you think you can actually hit the enemy. That leads us into things like ammo retrieval and scavenging. You know, if your guys are dying on the front line and you can get to those bodies, there's backpacks all over the place. Pick that stuff up and pull it back to a box or pull it back to the town hall if you're close to a town hall or a fob, and put that stuff back in there and click the submit to stockpile. So that makes it so that your logisticians and your truck drivers don't have to deliver as much stuff to you. Also, you can pick that stuff up off the enemy and use it against them. Frequently we go behind enemy lines and we start fighting them. We get everything that we fight them with from them. That means their gatherers, their crafters, their truck drivers, and their frontline guys are all working to deliver us the supplies that we're killing them with. That's a lot of time in game that it took for them to get all that stuff to us to do nothing but die and give us something to kill the rest of their guys with. And I kid you not, it's legit and it works. The other thing I want to talk about, so we talked about ammo retrieval, stuff like that. When you're pushing the enemy, definitely pick up their stuff and get it back to your back lines, behind your front lines, or use it against them. Also, if you have a lot of stuff on you, like 8 grenades or something like that, and you only used 2 of them before you died, you just gave 6 grenades to the enemy. Try not to do that. Take the bare minimum that you think you need into combat with you, and with the hope and intention that you're going to get more of it when you kill the enemy. And then the last thing I want to talk about for that is HMG, so the heavy machine gun and the submachine gun and the storm rifle shooting. Don't unload a full clip. So don't just aim and left click and just leave it go, because the longer you shoot, the worse your accuracy gets. Okay, so keep that in mind. You want to do like 3 to 5 round bursts. Okay, so you want to da-da-da-da, stop for a couple seconds, da-da-da-da, stop for a couple seconds, and your accuracy will be much more improved, and you won't go through whole crates of ammo in the span of a minute, and then your guys got to go craft more ammunition for you. So keep that in mind. Another thing is proper weapon types. So there's things like mortars and RPGs and howitzers in this game that you can use against the enemy. But think about what you're doing with them. So bullets kill enemies. Okay, things like mortars and howitzers and HE grenades, those are good for killing defenses and structures. And the mortars even are good for killing groups of people that are clustered together. We'll get into that in a second. So don't waste that stuff on like a single person, because the amount of resources that went into making that mortar round is like 10 times the amount of resources that went into making a rifle and 3 magazines of ammunition that go with it. Same thing with RPGs. Don't use RPGs on people, and please don't use RPGs on defenses. Use RPGs on vehicles. They will 1 or 2 shot kill a vehicle, but they don't do any more damage to a structure than an HE grenade does. So don't waste that stuff. Also, if you're using mortars and howitzers, you need to have a scout with binoculars. Okay, don't just sit there and blindly shoot. You're not going to hit anything. Have a guy that's standing right next to you that's telling you the azimuth in the distance so that you know where to aim and shoot. Okay, and when you take those things out, don't run with them. Equip your secondary weapon, you'll move a lot faster. Then switch to your primary mortar or your primary RPG and actually shoot with it. I think that's pretty much it for the proper weapon types and all that stuff. I think I covered all the good stuff for that. Okay, so the next thing, the last thing I want to talk about before we go into the actual other stuff is how to deal with defenses. So right in front of us, we have a couple of defenses. We've got a pillbox right here.
We have smoke and we have HE to show them.
Okay, this thing right in front of me is called a pillbox. It's the cement structure. Just ignore the blue sandbags for now. That's called a pillbox. It can only shoot in front of it at about a 90-degree angle. So it can shoot 45 degrees to the left, 45 degrees to the right, and right in front. Please do not, no, don't do that. We need that. Don't shoot anything. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't shoot anything. Okay. Okay. So the other thing is a foxhole right here. This foxhole can shoot 360 degrees all around it, and both of these structures can be manned by a person by walking up to it and hitting Q. So you have the advantage of actually getting in these, and you cannot be killed inside of these until the structure is destroyed or if they kill you with gas grenades. These structures are also known as automatic defenses. They will automatically defend you as long as they're connected to the town hall in a tunnel network. And this is a tunnel right here. These tunnel networks, they have a range of 39 meters. They need to be 39 meters or less apart from each other and the town hall. And if they are, they will actually turn these into live defenses, and they will automatically shoot whether you're in them or not. You can disable the enemy's defenses by destroying one of these if they've built them all the way in a line. But if you destroy one of them, and see how the manhole is popped up on this, if you destroy one of them, it takes 10 minutes for the defenses to actually run out of ammunition so that they stop firing. So keep that in mind. It's not instantaneous. But it takes a lot of HE. I think it takes 10 HE or so to actually destroy one of these. So if you're trying to destroy one of these to only disable one of these types of defenses or two of these types of defenses, it's probably better just to destroy the type of defense. So that's it for how these things get connected. Let's talk about how to destroy them. So if everyone goes ahead and hops back over here a little bit away from the defenses, Darken's going to show you a cool trick to actually destroying these things. So we talked about actually hitting these things with mortars and howitzers, but if you're infantry and you don't have that, there is a good way to destroy these, and that's with HE grenades. HE, the high explosive grenades, 2 to 3 of them will kill a foxhole like the one on the right, and I think 6 to 7, sometimes 8 of them, depending on where you hit it, will kill the pillbox to your left. But you cannot get close enough to these things to actually throw an HE grenade at them unless you can get behind the pillbox, because it can't shoot behind. So in order to actually destroy these things, you need something called smoke. And a smoke grenade, you don't throw the smoke grenade right on top of the structure. You throw the smoke grenade where you want to stand to be able to hit it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and hit V, and I'm going to toss out a little icon.
When you go in the course, just look on that
Right,
ticket.
to
Let
stand
me
back.
Okay, let me stand back from the pillbox because we're actually going to show you a lot.
Hold on. Hey, yeah, stand back, guys. That lagged out a little bit. Everyone stand back.
Right.
Okay, so what I just did, I pressed V. And I just tossed a little icon out here that says "Look here," and so that tells my buddy.
To V,
Hold on. Okay, so I just hit V and I pressed a little icon for "Look here" for my buddy to throw a grenade. So see the little bouncing thing where producer sound is standing. Okay, so I'm telling him. Not necessarily look here, but I want him to throw that grenade. So Darken, go ahead and throw that smoke grenade right there where I tossed that icon. So it's going to take 3 seconds for that smoke grenade to actually fill up with smoke. The smoke grenade's going to disappear. Then I know I can run into this box right here and where the smoke is, and these things can't see me. And I can toss HE grenades on top of those structures. It takes about 5 to 8 seconds or so before that smoke dissipates and those structures will start shooting at you. So you have to be quick. Also notice that anybody inside of this thing, you can't see them anymore. But the disadvantage is I can't see you either while I'm in the smoke. We tossed a couple of them out here, so it lasted quite a while. Okay? So if you're infantry, it's really good to carry like 1 smoke grenade and maybe 3 HE grenades if you know you have enemy foxholes that you have to deal with. But even smarter, have one of your buddies carry like 3 smoke grenades and you carry 3 HEs and another guy carries 3 HEs and another guy carries 3 HEs and you work together. Your smoke guy smokes them out and you guys walk up there and you throw the HE grenades on there. Be very careful. If somebody is in front of you when you throw an HE grenade, it'll bounce off the back of their head and kill you all. So watch where you're actually throwing these things, because I've done it to my buddies, I've done it to myself. It's terrible. You're like, rip, that went bad. So that's pretty much it, how to destroy these things. So let's talk about suppression. Retro asked a very, very, very good question. You can actually suppress these with a heavy machine gun or a couple guys shooting their rifles at it. They will stop shooting or slow down their rate of fire if enough people are shooting at it. And that'll allow one person, if you don't have smoke, to get up there with an HE and actually start hitting it. But it is kind of dangerous because every once in a while they will get a shot off. So keep that in mind. Now, the last trick I'm going to show you is actually disabling one of these pillboxes with a sandbag. Darken, go ahead and show them. If you can get to the corner of this pillbox where the sandbag is, Darken just dropped a sandbag. It takes 10 basic materials and a hammer. He can build that, and that pillbox is permanently disabled until that sandbag goes away. It won't shoot at you. It can't see you. Nothing. So that's an easy way. If you get behind those pillboxes, you find a way to get those pillboxes. Those basic mats are way cheaper than the HE grenades and the smoke that you would use to get rid of it. We have a couple non-offensive structures here. This watchtower is actually it's a watchtower. It's not defensive, but it actually gives you intelligence on the enemy. If you have a radio and you hit the M button, you can see all the watchtowers on the map, and they light up whenever at least one enemy is within range of the watchtower. So keep this in mind. If you have a radio and you see the watchtowers active, that doesn't mean they're attacking. It doesn't mean that the watchtower is being damaged. It just means somebody is there. So building the watchtowers far apart gives you an idea somebody's there. If you build enough of them kind of close enough together, you can actually kind of pinpoint where the enemy is based on which towers are active. And you use triangulation to figure that out. If it turns gray, there's nobody. No. If it turns gray, there's nobody there. If the watchtower turns gray, there's absolutely nobody in the area. It's still active. If it turns bright red or orange, somebody's in the area. And then if they leave, the watchtower will slowly fade. The color on the map will slowly fade back to gray. So the gray color I think producer was talking about, or the white color, these flags, see these 3 flags on these buildings? They're active because the flag has a color filled in. So they have our team icon, and then they're green for us, they'll be blue for the wardens. If these things are white, they are no longer connected to a tunnel network and they don't work. However, on some servers, if they're white, they'll still shoot if it's been less than 10 minutes. If they're not white, whatever. If they're not white, they're definitely active. Over here, if you guys follow me, this is Constantina wire or razor wire, some people call it. So one or two of you can go run into that, check out what happens to you. Oh yeah, it sucks. Go ahead and turn around because it's going to take you forever to get through that. So this is actually really...
Guy with Japanese letters.
It takes
North American server.
from one side
Okay.
to the other.
So yeah, it takes a long time to get out of that. So please avoid that. However, if they don't put this stuff close enough together, sometimes you can slip around in between the edges of it. So keep that in mind. The last thing I want to show you here is this fence. Fences are actually really important. They can get upgraded to walls, and eventually they can get upgraded to the walls with those big Normandy beach-style bunkers on them. But here's something you have to keep in mind. If the fence was not yours when it started, don't upgrade it all the way to tier 4 because it'll turn into an enemy's bunker. The other thing is all these objects, if they have a direction that they face, there's an arrow when you go to build them. There's an arrow when you go to build them. Just like the Claymore Mine, front towards enemy. Because if you build it in the wrong direction, it either A, does no good to you, or B, can start shooting at you. Especially these things right here. These are the pop-up turrets. When someone's close enough, it actually pops up out of the ground, and it'll start shooting. All these things that shoot, they don't give a crap if you're friendly or enemy. If there's an enemy in between you and them, or you're in between them and the enemy, they'll start shooting at the enemy, and they will hit you. So be very, very careful about that. Also, these things cannot be destroyed. These pop-up turrets cannot be destroyed unless they're popped up. So you have to play buddy fuck games with them is what I call it, where you kind of run in front of it, you make it pop up, and another guy throws HE on it real quick to destroy it. It only takes like 2 or 3 HE to destroy them, but they have to be popped up. The other one that popped up over there, go ahead, Twisted or Darken, pop up that turret. The turret. The anti-tank, that's an anti-vehicle turret. That thing will destroy a truck in like 1 hit. It only takes 2 or 3 hits to destroy a tank and like two hits to disable or destroy a half-track. If you're in a vehicle, avoid those at all costs. They have a 360-degree range of fire or screen of fire, but they take time to track. So if you're the driver or if you're the scout in one of those vehicles, if you see that turret start to move, you need to back the heck out of there because it's already starting to lock onto you and it's probably going to fire in a couple seconds. So that's it that I have for defenses and building. The last thing I want to talk about is materials. All these things take materials. They take basic materials, raw materials, and explosive materials. Whatever you do as you gather these materials, and if you have questions about that, I'm not going to go into the gathering, but do not ever put those materials into a town hall or an outpost, which is also what we call a FoB or a forward operating base. Put those materials into boxes next to those buildings because it takes you maybe 10 minutes to get the basic materials, but if you drop 10 minutes worth of basic materials into a FoB, it takes us 30 minutes to get it back out, the same amount. So just don't do that. Put it in a box because it's useless to us if it's in a building. So that's pretty much it for those. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the CV. Pop a CV down. Well, the last thing I'm talking about for construction type stuff. Pop the CV. These are CVs. They're civilian or they're construction vehicles. They are the only things that can build an outpost or a town hall. In order to win the game, you have to destroy all the enemy town halls and build your own town halls. So if your team's pushing and you're about to destroy the enemy town hall, you are terribly wrong if you don't have a CV ready with fuel and materials to build your town hall. Because chances are they're going to push you back out of there, and then you're going to be trying to build the town hall, and they're fighting you, and you're 3 hours away from getting your CV up there, and it's a giant mess, and I get so sad when I see that. I'm like, wait, you guys took the town hall and you didn't plan to build your own town hall, and it's pretty funny. So keep that in mind. They're very, very slow, and they need infantry to guard them. So the last thing I'm talking about is roles and players in the game. So remember I said this is a heavy team game. Very, 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 very team-oriented game. If you're doing your thing, one person or two people, you're not going to accomplish anything. It's like a drop in the bucket. You got to work together as a team. The truck drivers, they're by themselves doing their own truck driving stuff, but they're working for somebody. They're working for the quartermaster. Every map should have one quartermaster that manages all the crafting. If you're not the quartermaster and you're walking up to an upgraded factory and you're starting to craft something, you're hurting your team because your quartermaster is receiving orders from the front line. He knows exactly what those guys on the front line need in order to to win the battle. So if you think you need mortar rounds and you're running up there and crafting mortar rounds, it takes 10-15 minutes for all those to craft. The quartermaster can't craft anything until your craft is done. So you're waiting there for 10-15 minutes for your mortar rounds, and your quartermaster wants to shoot you for the next 10-15 minutes for making him wait. Even worse, you just crafted the mortar rounds, but you forgot the mortar tubes because you don't know how to craft. Or even worse, you crafted the mortar rounds and you get to the front line and all the mortar tubes are gone. What a waste. So keep that in mind. Let the quartermaster do the crafting. If you need something, at quartermaster in chat or at QM in chat, tell him what you need and where. He'll get it to you in 10-15 minutes. That stuff will just magically pop up in your fob and you're like, wow, how'd that get there? That's a whole team of people working to deliver that. Next, you got the truck drivers. Don't run on the roads unless you know how to get off the road when you hear a truck. All right, just make sure you're off the roads when you hear the trucks, because they will plow right over you and you'll be like, oh, rip. I've done quartermaster for 26 games, and I probably die more often in my own truck drivers than I do anything else. It's like Frogger 2.0. Next, you have your frontline infantry guys and you guys that are fighting, but you also have commanders and squad leaders. These are the guys that they're not necessarily always the natural leaders, but they're also the guys who are just trying to take charge of the cluster, because it's a whole bunch of people trying to work together. Nobody knows anybody, so it might be a corporal, it might be a private who has good leadership skills, or it might be like a sergeant or a warrant officer or an officer cadet like Darkin over there, or me who's a second lieutenant in the game. All right, so we have these ranks, and these ranks are achieved because we help a lot of people and we know what we're doing in the game. And I'll show you how you get those ranks in a second. But don't just respect somebody because of their rank. Respect somebody because they're helping out and they're working as a team. If somebody's out there on the front line yelling and swearing and calling everybody stupid, that's not a good leader. That's not how a leader works. Try and calm them down, but don't argue with them. Just be like, hey man, just tell us what you want to do and we'll do it. And see if you can get that guy to actually try to be a real leader and lead you guys instead of just screaming and yelling at you. Next thing you have is combat medics. Your combat medic should never have a rifle. He has a trauma kit, which revives people when they're like laying down on the ground, and he has a med kit, which revives people that, or heals people that are bleeding or bloody. Okay, he should only carry revolvers and pistols into combat. And you have assistant medics who actually carry a rifle and just a regular med kit, and they can heal people, but they can't revive people when they're down. And the last thing is you have your combat engineers. Your combat engineers are the awesome guys that build all these defenses for you to fall back to and protect you and stuff like that, like these buildings you see here. If you see a whole bunch of people and every time you run by them, they've got a hammer and they're building these pillboxes and these tunnels and stuff, man, thank those guys for what they're doing, because literally sometimes it gets a little boring. All they're doing is sitting there pounding on something, going and get more materials, pounding on something. They're not fighting and having as much fun as you are, but they're making sure we help win the game by not getting flanked and stuff like that, and giving you the defenses to actually support your front line. The very last thing I have, and I hope you guys had fun with this, I want you to hit F1. You do not have to give me commends. I'm not farming commends. But what I want to show you is you have your name, your team, you have a level, and you have a rank, and you're going to see the number of players on the server. You're going to see the commends available. Those are the amount of commends you can give to other people. And then below all that, you see the player list. You see all the players on the server. You can whisper them. You can commend them by giving them an upvote. You can reprimand them if they're trying to grief you and being a pain in the ass and ruining the game. But honestly, reprimanding is not very good, because you can only reprimand like once an hour, and someone can only receive a reprimand like once every 20 minutes or something like that. And it doesn't really accomplish anything unless someone's like legit freaking griefing. If that's the case, it's just better to kick them. Okay, so you can click the kick button and ask for a vote kick on that guy for whatever he's doing. Whoops. You can ask for a vote kick on that guy on whatever he's doing, and vote kick him, and ask the team to support you, and tell them why. Don't just be like, vote kick this guy. Tell them, dude, this guy's blowing up all of our own trucks on this road. He's griefing us. Please vote kick him for destroying friendly structures and vehicles or something like that. And if your team's working together and it's a legit vote kick, that guy will get kicked off the server pretty quick. But you only get 3 in 24 hours. So use those sparingly. Try to like talk the guy down first, like, you know, de-escalate the situation. So that's all I have. That's all I have. I want you guys to get to the front line, wherever that is, as soon as possible. But if you have a moment, one more thing, spacing. do not cluster up like this. See how we're all clustered together like this? All right, when you're in combat, one mortar or one grenade will kill half of us, okay? And if you hear a mortar shot go off or you see a mortar come in on you, and you'll know it when it comes, spread out. Like someone turn on the lights in a room of cockroaches, everyone just scatter to the four winds, because one of those things will totally rape all of you at the same time. Okay, so you see how we're kind of spread out like this a little bit? That's not too bad, but see how twisted? See how twisted and darkened over here to the east of us? See how they're spread out? That's a good distance between two people, okay? That's a really good distance between two or three people right there. So keep that in mind. See how they're fighting like that? If a grenade lands on one of them, only one of them's going to die. If it lands in between them, maybe one or two of them will get injured, and that's about it, okay? So that's all I have. So, hey, check this out. Before you give out any commands, darken, Twisted and Producer helped me set all this stuff up. I just did the talking. I did the teaching. These guys helped set it all up while I got you guys over here. So if you have a command, if you want to, if I helped you, toss it to me, toss it to Darken or Twisted or Producer or even Mitsu. We're here. We're here. Don't give it to Darken. He just hit Officer Commandant or Officer Cadet. So give it to Twisted.
15 commands.
So seriously, guys, I hope you have fun. Work as a team. Enjoy this game. Remember, these maps, this battle is going to go on for at least 6 hours, probably close to 20. So if you have to log off. Don't do what I do and do 20-hour gaming sessions, because I don't know, I'm crazy. So there's something wrong with me. But have fun. Balance your life, enjoy your game, eat real food, get some sleep, get some exercise, go out there, work as a team, and kick some ass. Okay, guys? I hope I helped you. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something you never knew. That's Lance Corporal, by the way, Retro. If you have any questions, you can stay here and ask some questions. Other than that, get out to the front line. I think the front line right now is at Callahan's Boot. Or somewhere around Salt March and Brian Glen. So get out there, support them. If you want to be a truck driver and help the logistics guys, do an @QM and say, hey, I want to help logistics. How do I help? And that guy, whoever our quartermaster is right now, he'll hit you up and he'll tell you some stuff. But it looks like Brian Glen is the front line. So go ahead, get a rifle, get a couple magazines or clips of ammunition, maybe one grenade, no more than that, and get out there and fight. And remember, the more you steal from the enemy is the more you get for free. Go, 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 go.